I'm just kidding. It was a crazy week, though. It was.
Honestly, we have so much to talk about.
Yeah.
It was, a very exciting week.
Yeah, and I don't even know where to start. When I was putting together the show, I mean, there's so much. I didn't want to throw out stuff, and because it is all important, and I wanted to put it in because we send stuff each other throughout the week, right? And there's so much going on, and then when putting together the show, I want to make sure that it all matches up, so we're not all over the place with the show.
Yeah,
but yeah, there's so much, and it wasn't just the UAP congressional hearings. I mean, stuff happened after that. People coming out, people with theories, fights happening. I mean, yeah. So there's a lot to get to.
yeah,
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I was listening to last week's episode, and you said we did minimal work on the show.
Sorry
I'm
about that.
still kind of upset about that. We don't do minimal work. I mean, we read books. We search online. I mean, we do all this stuff.
Yeah, we do. We really do. And I mean, if we're actively sending stuff to each other throughout the week, that's work. I guess I don't see it as work that's why. And when I made that comment of minimal work, I was basically saying, it's not our full-time job, right? We're doing as much as we can.
Exactly.
Yeah, to make this work and to make this interesting, to make this fun, to make it educational, and to try and bring out the truth. And who knows what the truth is? No one knows. A lot of people act like they know.
Well, that's what we're doing here at the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. We're uncovering anomalies. That is Adam. I am Topher. Actually, you know what? I'm going to try a new thing. I'm Tip Top Topher.
Or you could do like, how I forget what languages have it, where they have the exclamation mark in the beginning, but upside down, and then
that's Spanish, I think.
Oh, is it Spanish? So what is that for? Is that like to warn you, or to
no,
let you know a question's coming up, or
they've got it figured out? It's just like you don't want to get to the you don't want to get to the end of a sentence and then realize, oh, this was supposed to be important. So they put it up front.
Well, I was wondering that, especially about the voiceovers that read books. How do they know? Because I read out, to my kid, right? And sometimes not in summer, but anyway. And I would read, and I wouldn't know if it's a question until the end.
That's why that's why they put it at the front.
Yeah, it's really important, especially if you're reading out loud. If you're not, it's just you. It's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. So I guess let's I wanted to start out with this one, which is
show me what you got.
No, I don't agree everything with DJ. DJ's dark journalist. He's great. Here, let's see. But he's not always. It's not always what he's saying. But he's been right about this because he's been investigating the breakaway civilization and these deep state these black budget projects, and he found out that they all have X in them. So here he goes, we've been telling you on our X Steganography series about the X tech that the elites plan to bring forward. Elon turning Twitter into X is in a sense the magic ceremony to kick off the proceedings. The next step will be out of this world X.
Yeah, now, I meant to ask you if you knew anything about this, because I've been seeing memes. I haven't been on my phone much this week.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the X thing? Are they changing the name of Twitter to X?
They are, yeah, and so now I remember back in the days of consulting, there was a business plan that I remember coming like around, that was being shared around. It was called X.com, and it was prior to PayPal. It was the same guys who started PayPal wanted X.com. So he's had this obsession, Elon, and he's PayPal, right? He's one of the guys that I found on PayPal. He's been obsessed with X for a very long time. So that's his brand. So now to him, it's all coming together, and he wants Twitter to be X. And X, the way he envisions X is, do you know the Chinese app WeChat?
I've heard of it. Yes,
I've used it. I think 4 or 5 years ago because I knew someone in China that I was doing business with, and he goes, "Just do WeChat," and It was more of a voice chat thing. I didn't like it at all, but that was 5 years ago. But apparently now you can you can do everything on there. It's like an Amazon thing. It's also social media sharing stuff, and like you don't need to go anywhere else. It's the one app, and that's what he wants to do apparently.
I see.
Musk
Okay.
with X. So, and then him changing X the same week of the UFO congressional hearing. This is where DJ Dark Journalist is saying it's a magic thing that they're doing. It's like a ceremony
Unreal.
that they're revealing this. Now, he could be right. He's been right about a lot of things. Okay, the thing is with DJ is that he does not trust these guys, Grush, Luis Elizondo, from the beginning. He's never trusted them. He's saying they're CIA. Tom DeLonge, he does not like. So that's his perspective. He's a great researcher. He's got a huge following, so you have to respect that. I'm not 100% with him on this one. Maybe Luis Elizondo, I've had my doubts because he's counterintelligence, right? That's his job.
Yeah.
That's what he's been trained to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But I've been cozying up more. Grush, though, Grush, I think is the real deal. No matter how I look at it, that's how.
Well, I kind of like our friend AJ over at the what's it called, the Y
Yeah.
Files.
Yeah.
I you sent me his take from Twitter, and I
Right.
kind of agree with him. I mean, obviously, I believe in UFOs and stuff, but
Right, and he does too.
Yeah, and I just don't trust the government.
Yeah, and none of us do. And this is what's going on. It's not the government though that's saying this, right? The government is AARO and the Pentagon, and they're saying
no,
it doesn't exist, and these guys are
AARO,
lying.
and you've shared this sentiment a lot.
Yeah.
AARO is done.
Yeah, we'll get to that. And
Yeah.
it pretty much is. It's completely done. Well, it's on its way to be done.
Yeah.
And there's no one else to blame but Kirkpatrick, and he's
I won't say it.
Yeah, he's been
Guy's a jerk.
Crybaby. Well, I guess let's go. Let's take this. Well, we're gonna share. We will share this link, which is the UFO congressional hearing. It didn't last as long, right? I mean, I listened to it on Tuesday morning. Sorry, Wednesday morning.
It was Wednesday.
Wednesday morning, yeah. It was only 2 hours, but a lot was said. Crazy stuff was said, and we'll go through some clips too here, and we'll share the entire clip, which is this one right here, and our listeners can go and listen to the entire clip themselves. It's worth listening to. It's just 2 hours and a half. I mean, while you're doing laundry or any task that's monotonous, just listen to it. It's important.
And once again, everything that we talk about on this show is shared in the show notes.
Yes, exactly. And these guys were under oath. They are. It was 2 jet fighter pilots, right, from the Navy, and Grush, who's a very high level intelligence person who's been threatened. His life has been threatened. Apparently a lot of whistleblowers didn't come in. Oh yeah, here it is.
Just to be clear, Kirkpatrick was under oath, wasn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was under oath. Well, see, he used semantics though. That's the thing. When you listen to what he said, he was like he kept using the word aliens. And that's why I think Grush now and all these guys have switched and started saying non-human
intelligence. So, right.
Yeah. And then when the Black Vault, he kept going after AARO, asking for information. And AARO keeps saying they're transparent, right? They kept blocking him. They wouldn't send him stuff, using excuses that it's law enforcement or something, that they're still investigating and that they can't send him anything. So if they're being transparent, why aren't they sending him stuff? So he's a liar, this guy. He's just a deep state bureaucrat, just like Fauci. He reminds me of Fauci.
Oh God, yeah. That's actually a really good comparison. I didn't.
They love people like that. They just love liars that just want all they care about is themselves and their stupid careers. And screw the people.
When are we gonna get back to the phase where the strongest rule? You know what I mean? Like Fauci's like 5'5". I mean, I could put him in a suitcase. I
thought about this. Yeah.
I mean, I know, I know might doesn't equal right, but I mean, these little tiny, piece of shit weaklings rule our country, and I'll never understand why.
Well, I have a little theory about this. Now, it might not be true, it might be completely wrong, but we are a species, especially like males, right? We want women to want us, right? And I think a lot of what we do, our pursuit of money, our pursuit of like material things, is to impress women. And there was a thing that came out the other day, and I don't know any of these apps, obviously, but I guess it was Bumble or something, and they surveyed women of how tall they like their men, and a lot of them, the majority want them over 6'1". Okay, I think
that's such a small part of the population.
Yes,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
that's such a small part of the population.
Yeah, and it drops down significantly when you start getting under 6 feet, right? Like the women don't want you; they're not interested. However, if you're a celebrity or if you have power, it negates all
money.
that. Or money, yeah, it negates all that. So I think a lot of these guys who are short know this, and the only way they're going to get women is to either become a celebrity, like an actor, because they're tiny, aren't they?
Tom Cruise is 5'7".
Yeah, or 5'6". I think 5'7" probably with his
he might
shoes.
even be shorter than. That's just what's listed on his IMDb. I am whatever.
Yeah, IMDb.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's going on here. And that's not going to change. That's women just have a preference of that. I mean, but anyway, that's just a theory of mine.
No, I'm actually right there with you.
Because that's what motivates us. Not unfortunately. That's just we're here to procreate. And
listeners, guys just want sex. That's the whole reason the world turns.
Oh man, I knew it. Or at least that's what I'm trying to say. So embarrassing. All right, so Pentagon blocks lawmakers from UFO data ahead of UAP hearing. This is important. Now we got these three because they're the bravest. They've been out there. They're very outspoken. Grush is protected by law. The other two fighters, they've been out on Rogan and they've been out there for a year. So when you have that much visibility, you're not that scared anymore, right? Because you've been in the media, and if something happens to you, that's a problem. Other people didn't come in because they were being GOP. Pentagon, Air Force blocked lawmakers from seeing images, data on UFOs. Here, let's take a listen. This is News Nation.
Awesome.
Has looked up to space and wondered not only what is out there, but who. It's a question that has long been written in American history, and tonight all the events are taking on a new focus because until now, many of these stories were relegated to tabloids at the grocery store checkout aisle. Now, the debate over UFOs has made it to the halls of Congress, and it couldn't be more serious. News Nation's Kelly Meyer joins us now with more questions on this big hearing that's happening on Wednesday, an historic hearing, only the second since 1968. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Elizabeth, a lot of interest in this hearing, and I'm told lawmakers are looking for transparency here. They had a hearing before, but some of that was partially behind closed doors and nothing like what we're going to hear from those witnesses on Wednesday. Members of this committee want to get as much information out to the public as possible so that the American public can walk away with some answers.
Capitol Hill swirling with questions about UFOs, and a historical hearing could reveal secrets the military has reportedly been keeping under wraps.
We're over the target. They know it. They've got something to hide, and they continue to do it.
Republican lawmakers leading the charge to find out what's out there and why it's been so closely guarded.
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
A News Nation exclusive interview with a UFO whistleblower spurring interest in the topic. David Grush will be testifying Wednesday after sharing that he believes the U.S. government has for decades
could you pause it real quick?
Non-human.
Yeah.
All right. So I really like what Burchett is doing, and they're approaching this from the right way.
Yeah.
They just want transparency.
Right.
They want the government and the people to know, what the hell is going on with UFOs. It's not really about UFOs. It's about transparency, like reporting to the public what the government is doing. I like that they're doing that. Also, why is Burchett always like in a room or a truck with headphones on. You know what I mean?
I know, yeah. It just adds to the whole psyop thing, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, now you should bring that up. Like he's a cartoon character.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's I'm on my way to get coffee. Let's talk about this. Like it always seems like Burchett, and love, I like what the guy is doing.
Me too.
But it's just funny that
Why is he in his truck? Like,
I don't. This is what I'm saying. I don't.
Or with the shotgun in the back.
Yeah, or he's like in a room, like in his house. Clearly,
Do you think he's doing that on purpose? Like he himself, maybe he's trying to because a lot of these YouTubers who are huge are like doing videos out of their kitchens.
I want to appeal to the people.
Yeah, exactly. I want to. Oh man. Yeah. Good
Foghorn Leghorn. That's what he sounds like. I
Foghorn Leghorn.
I shouldn't disparage the guy. He's doing it.
Dude, he's amazing. And what I don't understand is like he's not the government. He's fringe. He's not okay. He's I'm trying to say this in a nice way. He's not considered a serious congressman, if you know what I mean. Like he's not state. You know what I mean? He's not on all these committees. He's not trusted with. He's not on like the intelligence committee. You know what I mean? Like
we were kind of talking about this last week.
Yeah.
I mean, he gets looked down on because he's got the Southern accent.
Yeah.
That's all I think it is.
Yeah, people are racist or stereotypical.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
they're statist.
Yeah, he doesn't follow the line. He himself keeps saying, "I don't trust the government." So that's who we put in charge of this. So
that's exactly who should be in charge of this.
Right. Yes. Yeah. And,
all right.
And this comes from. I think he's part of the Freedom Caucus, right? The Freedom Caucus are a small group of congressmen. It's like the Tea Party, libertarians, within the GOP. These are not rhinos. This is not the Uni Party. This is like another fight going on, not just within the GOP, within the government, within intelligence community. There's something going on like that. So
yeah,
who say this is the government psyop? It's not totally that.
Yeah, we've talked about this. There's apparently a schism going on. I truly believe that.
Yeah, we're seeing it. I mean, they're human, right? I mean, it's just, all you have to do is
emphasize.
So. But I mean, and we're not a hive type of being. It's human history has always been this: these factions fighting and disagreeing until usually the truth comes out, and that's what wins.
Well, I sure hope so.
I hope so too.
Craft with non-human species inside.
We need to find answers because at the end of the day, these are activities should never be unsupervised. Anytime agencies of the federal government are unsupervised and do whatever they want, it's generally not a good outcome for the country.
Florida Senator Marco Rubio, vice chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, has previously told News Nation that high-ranking U.S. government officials have firsthand knowledge of a secret Pentagon crash retrieval program. His right-hand man on Senate Intel, Virginia Democrat Mark Warner, told reporters he's interested to hear what is said in Wednesday's hearing and that they should treat every whistleblower with seriousness and respect. The rare hearing sparking an even more rare occurrence in Washington, bringing members of both sides of the aisle together.
If the answers are there are no unidentified aerial phenomenon, then say that. But that's not what the answers are. The answers are we can't tell you.
All right, so this was the news, before the hearings. I sent you this one also with Christopher Mellon.
Mm-hmm.
He was deputy under secretary of what, defense, something like that, something very high up. I forget now. But he had a great interview on News Nation also. It's a long one. I don't want to go through the whole thing, but I think it's important to listen to his perspective on what's going on because he's been a big part of this, right? With this push, stuff declassified, and getting this out there. A lot of people don't trust him, but he says the right things.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Again, it goes back to what AJ said. I can't trust anyone in government.
Yeah, and AJ, just like you, by the way, says I want to see the evidence. So he wants to see pictures, he wants to see videos.
I did too.
Okay, now, all right. So now, what if that happens? And then I'm just worried the goalpost is going to keep moving. I get that. I want to see evidence too, right? But what if that hurts our national security? What if isn't it enough that they just tell us that we're not alone and that yes, we're studying them, but we don't want to reveal? I guess they could reveal videos. That wouldn't really show our capabilities, right? I mean, it's just a video or a picture. I mean, a picture's not going to show anything. But then people still rag on that. I mean, and say that's not enough. I want to meet them.
Well, no,
not you, but
no, I'm in the same boat. I mean, the TikTok video that came out that kind of started this whole thing. It's compelling footage, but I want to, I want to shake hands with an alien. Otherwise, what are we doing? I mean, the TikTok footage is great, but I mean, so this is where it goes back in my mind. I mean, it could be just, U.S. technology or some other government's technology, and
I mean, if it's Russia, would they be wasting their time in Ukraine doing all that stuff? They'll just take us over, or whatever. Or China, same thing. I mean, although China is taking over the world in a way.
So, okay, I had this thought. This is going to sound so stupid. What if aliens from another, planet or dimension or whatever, they were able to, what's it called? Cancel out all of our nukes so they don't work.
Yeah, they've done that, or apparently they've shown they can do that in the past.
Right. So what if they shut every nuke down on the planet, and so no one can use nukes anymore, and everyone's just pretending like we still have nukes?
That's not stupid at all, dude. No, yeah. I mean, and we still pretending we can do all that stuff, and always threatening but not really doing it.
Right.
You've been turned off since the 60s.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I get that, man. No, that's not a stupid thought at all. And, very probable. We don't know because it's all secret.
Right, exactly. Because our government's not transparent.
Because it's embarrassing, that we can't do anything. And basically our really strong leaders are just cats. That's a good thought. Here, let's try this in Chris Mellon here.
All right, perfect. Yeah, let's go.
I wish I time-stamped it, but everything he says is pretty cool.
Going to get this Wednesday. How should we set our expectations? We have an exclusive interview with the man who has been really the spark plug, instrumental behind the scenes to bring these witnesses and video evidence forward. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence, Christopher Mellon. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
And feel free, as always, to push back on whatever doesn't go with your reckoning. And I'll start with a point of potential cynicism or at least skepticism. I think not demanding that NASA be there, not demanding that more big shots from these different departments and programs be there or be held to account for why they won't come should have been a focus.
That's a good point. And I think I should go back to the whole Psyop thing. If the government is doing this, they don't want anything to do with this. All the big ones, NASA, he said the Pentagon.
Fuck
they don't want
NASA. Never straight answer. We talked about this. But fuck NASA.
I know. So I mean, that's a good point. Anyway, let's see what he says.
And we're setting ourselves up for disappointment with these hearings. What's your take?
I think there's time to get to that. This is a process. The objective here, I think, and the opportunity is for the American people to come to better understand why it is that so many in Congress actually take seriously the idea that there are UFOs, UAP that are violating U.S. airspace, and the associated rumor, allegation that we may have in our possession off-world technology recovered from someone else's space program. And those are things that are hard for people to get their minds around. And I think this hearing is an opportunity for the public to hear from naval aviators who are utterly credible, responsible people, to understand what they're experiencing, what they're encountering in the field. And this is happening on a widespread basis. There are hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah. So, I mean, I paused it there because yes, and you've said this to me before when the hearings started, is that, you know, they said nothing new. I mean, maybe there was like a little bit, like one or two things that are new that came out, but it's nothing new for us.
No, of course not.
Most of the public does not even know about this or don't even care. But you know,
that's see, that's the problem that gets me, is that people honestly don't care.
Yeah, because they really do believe it's bullshit, and that it's just crazy talk. But if it comes to Congress, people who, you know, in authority, high authority, right? Congress makes the law. Congress has the power of the purse. They're powerful people, and they're if they take this seriously, it's real. These people are under oath. I think that's what Chris Mellon's trying to say, is that once you do that, a different set of the population starts to take this seriously. And, you know, I think we're seeing that too, Topher, with our show, is that there's a lot of interest now, way more before in the past. You know,
not to disparage our listeners. love each and every one of you.
Yes, yes, we do, and we welcome all the newcomers and the old comers and our old listeners. You know, without you and your support, we wouldn't be doing this every week.
Yeah, shout out to superfan Catherine.
Yes, Catherine and Pamela.
Yes, and Pamela. You guys are great. We love you so much. You have no idea.
Thank you for your feedback. Yes, it keeps us going. That's for sure. And we got great feedback from last week's show. It's the most listened to show, by the way. Last week's show. So hopefully we'll keep breaking records.
Well, one day we can have, like I said, one day we can have a show like AJ's.
Yeah, and AJ keeps putting himself down a little bit. He's like, you know, I actually don't know anything about any of these things. He goes, my audience.
We don't. None of us know anything. You and I mean, we've done, you know, the research, but we don't know anything.
No, we don't. We're very knowledgeable. Right? Yeah, but we're not in these. We're not generals that have access to all these compartmentalized projects and see the big picture.
Yeah. All right. So what you got next?
This is also a clip. Tim Burchett. Is this? This might be after the hearings. Let's see.
The panel is here with us. Tennessee Republican Congressman Tim Burchett.
He has tweeted
this. See again.
He's just done with cover-ups
on.
Yeah, he's in a room. He's got a shotgun in the back. Look, two of them actually. Oh my God. Okay.
All right. Sorry, Chris. Go ahead and play it.
And welcome. Do you believe that the U.S. government has been covering anything up?
Oh, 100%. You know, we've requested documents. We've gone to interview pilots and been stonewalled by our Pentagon. It's ridiculous. It's been going on since the 40s, and it continues to go on because, you know, I proposed a piece of legislation on this past week, and it was killed. It basically just said if an airline pilot had seen a UFO or something unidentified, that report would basically be sent to Congress, and they blocked it. I was told the intelligence community blocked it, whoever the heck they are. And you know, if they don't exist, then why the cover up? I mean, you're seeing the famous Tic Tac videos right there, and you heard from the pilot that we hope will be testifying before our committee. So it's we're taking the gloves off. This is.
See, and they're blocking him too. And this is, it is a fight. It's a complete fight. It's like, no, you guys don't need to know. And these are congressmen. And I don't know why they don't use the power of the purse. Just take away their funding. It's that easy. It's because they're not in the majority. You know, it's, again, a small faction that's doing this.
Well, I think, boy. Yeah. Sorry, I agree with you. I don't have a thought there. I mean, there's obviously a schism. People in government are trying to get this out. Burchett, obviously. Yeah. And then there is I'll call them the silent majority that are fighting every little bit of this. They don't want any of this to come out.
No, they don't. It's too much.
Why do you think that is?
I mean, could you imagine this whole civilization is built on this secret? That's my opinion. This whole civilization that since World War II, the post World War II era, the United States Empire, right? That won World War II and with nukes and all that. This whole empire is based on this secret. They have these crafts. It's theirs. They reverse engineer. They make patents. They release this technology, and I think with our phones and whatever, all this technology we see coming out so fast and since World War II, wireless technologies, the internet, fiber optics, AI, all that, and they have the patents for this, and they've made trillions of dollars off of it. And then the secrecy also gives them unlimited budget. So why would they end it? Why?
Yeah,
right? It's too much of. It's trillions of dollars, and they're so powerful and wealthy, and I mean, I don't know. I mean.
No, honestly, that makes too much sense to me.
I mean, I would do that.
Don't say that.
No, I'm just saying, if I was in their shoes and I'm in this situation, even if I'm born into it, say not from the 40s, say they're kids, all right, born into it. They know the secret. It's sustained their family's wealth and their power, and even if I'm born into it, I'm not the one who did it, I would want to continue that as a part of the legacy or whatever.
So, listeners, I can't remember who told me this or where I heard it, but people in power have two jobs: one, to get more power, and two, to keep that power. Yes. And that's it. That's the Congress, president, whoever. That's their only job. And they don't give two shits about you, no matter what bullshit they spout. That's all they want: keep power and get power. That's it.
And my fear is even these congressmen like Tim Burchett and all the other ones, because they're not allowed, right? It's making them crazy because they already have power, but they don't have all the power, and it's making them crazy. So if they do get access, I think this will be over. This is just because they don't have access to it. They're like, why don't we have access? The American people need to know. Yeah. They're talking about themselves.
That's
my fear. That's
my fear too, as well. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, cuz. All right, what do you got next for me?
Joe Rogan says News Nation seems fake, suspicious of network's UFO obsession. Something's off, he says. He goes, what is News Nation? I don't know what News Nation is. Is News Nation a real channel? He says. He goes, I was watching News Nation today, and I may or may not have been high, he said. And I was like, this has all the feeling of like fake news that someone put together. Like it felt like if I was the government and I was going to make a news show without Hollywood people, without actual real sound people or engineers, this is how I'd make it. Like this. I'd make it really funky. I'd make all the lights all fucked up. Sorry. And I'd make everybody weirdly uncharismatic.
Yeah.
So he's saying the thing about this News Nation, they're spending an inordinate amount of time on UFOs, an inordinate amount of time on this David Grush case, and I'm increasingly more suspicious. I'm increasing more skeptical. The more I see people confirming it, I'm thinking something's not right. And then not to see that channel and then to see that this channel is the one that's covering it the most, I'm like, this seems like something's off, is what he said.
Well, see, here's the problem. You get lied to by the media on a daily basis.
Yep.
About everything, everything, and it goes on for years and years and years. And so you start questioning, what's happening. I mean, they put us in this situation.
I blame COVID. I think maybe that's part of what COVID is. They knew this was coming out. They're like, let's do a crazy psyop and let the people know we're capable of this. And then half the population would say that's what this is too.
Yeah. No, I completely agree.
Well, what Joe also doesn't know, or maybe he does, is
honestly, okay. I like Joe Rogan. I like that he interviews people from all sorts of different backgrounds and stuff. He's kind of an idiot.
And does a lot of drugs.
Yeah. I mean, I like the guy. He's kind of dumb.
Yeah, and it's because he's always so high, and he said it right there. You know, just don't trust. I mean, just don't trust your intuitions when you're high. Like, I'm sorry, no, that's not true. Maybe deep thoughts. Actually, I don't know how to say this correctly. All right, sometimes or a lot of times, many things that we think while high are not true. They just feel true because we're high. They feel more true. I've had this after the fact, like I would think the same thought, like sober. I'm like, that was so stupid. But when I was high, it's like, oh, that's the truth, kind of thing.
Well, and coming from a recovering alcoholic, I mean, it's the same thing in my boat. You know, you get these opinions in your head, and then once you sober up, it's like, oh, that was really, really stupid of me to think that.
Yeah, and it wasn't as dramatic, right? Because
exactly,
it's very dramatic. Yeah. Well, here's the reason why News Nation covers UFOs, not according to, but yeah, here's George Knapp talking about it.
I want to send out some props to News Nation. They've jumped into the UFO deep end of the pool in a big way. That's the parent corporation for KLAS TV. The guy who's sort of running the show there is an executive named Chris Berg, television newsman of many, many years, who helped me create Mystery Wire at KLAS TV and was a great champion of that. And he's doing great work. Their whole team is doing great work to give a platform to Marco Rubio, to you and others. What's your experience been like with that?
Let's cut off Corbell quickly. No, I'm kidding. But there it is. So that's why News Nation covers it, because the guy who runs News Nation also was at KLAS, who helped George Knapp start his show on KLAS. And that was, so the guy is already interested in it, and he's at the top of that organization. So, it's no surprise.
Yeah. Well, also, we have a huge problem with the 24 hours news cycle. It just screws everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's small snippets. They all get it from the same source. They all cover the same stuff. So just because someone's covering something different, something else, doesn't mean that there's a bad agenda there. I mean, yes, they have an agenda. Yeah. We all do. But they're trying to get even. Yeah, I mean, no one else. They only started, like NBC, ABC, CBS. They only started covering this after the hearings, by the way. And we'll see that there was a clip that you shared of the car. You want me to share that one of the car?
Yeah.
I mean, we did put it up on Twitter, but this is right after the hearings that day. And I don't know if you went to it. Yeah, tell us how. Did you just turn on the car and this happened, or?
So my car, you can plug in your phone and you listen to whatever's going on your phone. I had just gotten home from work and I unplugged my phone, and I mean,
is it Sirius XM or is it just a normal radio?
No, just normal radio.
Oh, okay. See, I didn't know that. All right, let's listen then.
Don't worry, I'll cut this gap out. But yeah, it was crazy because you and I had been texting about it. I obviously I've been following the news. I unplugged my phone so my music stops playing, and like immediately the first thing I hear on, I don't even know what channel is. I don't want to say.
Yeah.
Was playing this. So let's give a listen.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't know it was not on. Okay.
Thank you for hanging with us. My enthusiasm for this is through the roof. The non-stars. How do you know that these were not our aircraft? There you go. Some of the behaviors that we saw in a working area, we would see these objects being at 0.0 Mach. That's zero airspeed over certain pieces of the ground. So what that means, just like a river, if you throw a bobber in, it's going to float downstream. These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach. And they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation.
This guy's got a flying saucer in his mouth.
Dude, he's a Navy flight pilot. He was there with these things. They were not moving. Like if you threw a bobber in a river, that's what he was talking about. Okay. All right, Dodgers lost today. Angels game was
all right. Dodgers lost today.
So I'm not listening to some weird thing. I mean, this is just like an FM station that's talking about this. I mean, the funniest part though is they played Blink 182 immediately after.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. That is so crazy. I mean, I'm sure they did it on purpose, right? The DJs.
Oh, of course. They didn't play Aliens Exist.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, if listeners go ahead and listen to Aliens Exist by Blink 182. It's a great song.
It is a great song.
But it was just, the synchronicity of it was just unreal.
Yeah, and exactly that was that day, and then you were going home from work, and it's been that way since. By the way, I mean, I guess it's calmed down a little bit. Now here's Corbell. I'm gonna put. I have it queued up here because it's a real weird one, by the way. Because when I was putting the show together today, he said something I didn't catch before, and it's pretty embarrassing. And I want you to listen now.
Okay, all right.
And just see how he tries to. This is, it's unfortunate that he said this, but listen.
However, it is true.
Yeah.
And I feel that that will be revealed to everybody. But, the point is, it's way beyond an individual. It's way beyond one person, one sighting, one thing. This is a symptom of what's been going on for a very long time. And there's been arguments that, well, why aren't these advanced tech that from foreign adversarial nations we just don't know, or our black projects? Some of our friends actually think that. Now, here's the deal. One, the UFO phenomenon is not real.
Did you hear that?
Unreal. That
guy just said the UFO phenomenon is definitely not real.
He's definitely CIA, right?
I've been saying that since the beginning. I thought he was like NSA, CIA, like one of those. And
so
what the fuck was this? I haven't seen anyone share that. Look at this guy just laughing his ass off, and he's like, "Oops."
Yeah. So
kind of ruins a lot of things.
We were talking about a Corbell clip that you sent me.
Yeah.
And he always finds a way to make it about himself. He never fails.
But this is a big failure right here. I mean,
this is a really big one.
Here's the deal. One, the UFO phenomenon is not real.
Oh my God, Corbell, what did you do?
Ding dong.
I'm gonna have to. We're gonna share that on Twitter and just ask people what the hell. Well, actually, I'm gonna know 50%. Like, yeah, we told you.
To be fair to him, people slip up from time to time. I mean, we do it all the time on this podcast.
We do, yeah. But he's had so much experience up there and doing interviews. Like, you can tell by his face. The look, it's like, oh no.
Yeah.
My brain. The UFO phenomenon has been here a long time.
Yes.
Right. Any type of advanced technology, the Commander Fravor can't tell you right openly what he's doing for work right now. He didn't testify to that. That's a man that would know. I'll just put it that way. So,
all right. So then I have it timestamped for 9 minutes 30. I don't know. I forgot what was there. I sent you. Was that the end? Yeah, it looks like it's at the end. Oh, there's no 9 minutes 30. What is wrong with me? Maybe 6 minutes 30. Sometimes I get dyslexic.
Yeah, it happens.
Two things. These guys don't want to be jumping in front of cameras.
That was very clear, just so everyone knows from behind this. He did not want to be in the spotlight.
Look, he's got a job. He's going back to work and jumping to work the next day.
Right.
They all came on their own dime. They all came here because of a sense of duty. And maybe because I can be a pest, but they came because they have a sense of duty, and that was really empowering. So what we're seeing here, Sagar, you're going to break down for everybody that listens to you. You understand the mechanics of it more than most journalists I know that cover it, and you've covered politics. Now you've got politics and UFOs, so you are in a quagmire.
This is the intersection.
All right, nothing important there. But that's crazy how I'm surprised no one grabbed that and went crazy with it. I haven't seen it yet. Now, this is amazing. I sent this through. Apparently, this is Schellenberger, the journalist. He put this together. It's a UAP timeline. I mean, someone could make a Netflix series about this. But it basically, and it goes from the beginning. Public domain, 8th July, 1947. And these are signed affidavits, okay? So, like, here's an example. First Lieutenant Walter Hout states in an allegedly signed affidavit he was stationed at Roswell Army Airfield as the public information officer and received a call from Colonel William Blanchard, who said he possessed, quote, flying saucer debris. The material was from outer space and recovered from a crash northwest of Roswell, New Mexico. And he links to all these. And it's all affidavits. Look, another one, affidavit. signed affidavit. So signed affidavit. All these. I mean, it's about Roswell.
So I want to ask you about your true opinion on Roswell, but I feel like we should save that for a philosophical episode.
I think we were experimenting in the desert in which they were, right? We had different. Also, we were
no. Save it for the philosophical episode.
Oh, okay, all right. So, but this timeline is so impressive.
It's really cool, and again, listeners, everything that we talk about is in the show notes.
Yeah, so you have to read it, and there, even look. He links Truman Library. President Harry Truman asked his U.S. Air Force aide Colonel Landry to give him quarterly updates on UAP research, but to do so verbally. No records are kept, and he links to the Truman Library right here. It was in 1948. And it's just it's so much evidence. When people sit there and say there's no evidence, it's like, what?
It's so crazy. If you look into Roswell, like, God, the picture of the guy who's smiling next to like debris, quote unquote debris.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's faked. I mean, there's so much. Yeah, no, Roswell turned everything on its head.
It did, and that was the beginning, I think, of the schism. Where there was a fight, but one faction won, and they were the extremely powerful ones, and the other faction, has been fighting since then for transparency, and we're seeing just the end of this of 80 years.
Yeah, I mean, JFK was killed because of this.
Yeah, he mentioned it too. It was it was a memo, or at least one of the reasons of many. All right, there was many people that hated him within the government. But yeah, there was a memo right to NASA saying, "I want you to work with the Russians on UFO."
Like I said about RFK, JFK, he found so many reasons to get himself killed. Poor guy.
Yeah, I know.
At least he got to sleep with what's her name?
With Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah. Oh man.
Oh yeah. He was a womanizer.
Yeah.
Here's our friend Corbell again. It's a short one, but it's CNN, right? Yeah. I think that's what's important here.
Yes. Yeah.
So
again, Corbell finds a way to make this about himself, but
a lot of these clips are Corbell. It's just the way it is. They like him. He loves the camera, and the media loves him. The guy just
he's
cameras gravitate to people like him.
Fortunately or unfortunately, he's the face of the UFO thing right now. Go ahead and play this clip though. This is great.
Completely different than previous hearings because you don't have suits who are obfuscating and have a need to obfuscate. This is about transparency. That's what's different today.
The objects that are being seen by commercial pilots are performing maneuvers that are unexplainable due to our current understanding of our technology and our capabilities as a country.
Yeah, I concur with that. We have nothing that can stop in midair and go the other direction, nor do we have anything that can, like in our situation, come down from space, hang out for 3 hours, and go back up.
We need the government to trust us, to quit saying we need more money to study this. Look, NASA's had it, the Pentagon's had it, every defense department has had it. Turn loose the files. Let's get to the bottom of it. This is just the start.
You said that the government has alien bodies or alien species. Have you seen the spacecraft?
I have to be careful to describe what I've seen firsthand and not in this environment, but I could answer that question behind closed doors.
And have you seen any of the bodies?
That's something I've not witnessed myself.
You're talking something that can go into space, go someplace, drop down in a matter of seconds, do whatever it wants, and leave. And there's nothing we can do about it.
Are you aware of any of our enemies that have that capability?
I did this today so I could help move this forward, so I could, answer the calls from the pilots and the aircrew that have been reaching out, asking for help on this topic. This is the first time a conversation like this has occurred, and I think it's the first time that it's truly ever been done in a serious manner that we're going to expect follow-on results for.
Awesome.
I mean, it's so cool. I don't know if "cool" is the right word. It makes me happy that these people are coming forward, but also it's fucking ridiculous that they can only talk about certain topics.
Yeah. Oh, you mean that they have permission to?
Yes.
Yeah. And then like for example, Grush can't talk about Roswell. He's not cleared for that.
Hey, have you seen alien bodies? Can't talk about that. I mean, they're whistleblowers.
Yeah,
they should be able to talk about whatever they want.
It's because they'll get thrown in jail. I guess he doesn't want to get thrown in jail.
They'll end up like what's his name? The guy, the NSA guy.
Snowden. Snowden.
Yeah.
He's in Russia. We even took his U.S. passport from him. He's not a U.S. citizen anymore. Can you imagine the government has the power to do that?
Hey, the government's spying on you, and they went after that guy so hard.
Oh yeah, him. I mean,
I guess in that way, I understand why they're why they're so they can't share things.
Yeah, and there's some crazy clips from that hearing. So here's one, Mr. Garcia. He's out of California, actually, like Long Beach, and apparently Long Beach has some UAP reverse engineering companies, according to Schellenberger. And who else? Who said it also? So this guy's out of Long Beach. So he's got these companies contributing to him. We know they are. One of the biggest ones is APAC, actually, that contributes to him, which is. But he's a ranking member, and he asked Grush about bodies. So let's take a listen.
All right.
Grush, finally, do you believe that our government is in possession of UAPs?
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General, and some of which to the intelligence committees. I actually had the people with the firsthand knowledge provide a protected disclosure to the Inspector General.
Thank you. Grush, finally,
isn't the Inspector General sitting right behind him?
Yeah, the former Inspector General.
Oh, former, okay.
Yeah, but still, he was one of the original Inspector Generals. He had some really a lot of support behind him. He had someone from the UAP task force also there.
I mean, it goes to show like this isn't some weird BS thing. I mean, this is legit, real, and happening.
Yes, it is. And there's a lot of again, it's a fight because you have high-ranking individuals within the government fighting other high-ranking individuals in the government. Ones that care about that we know the truth, and ones that really don't care and want to keep it going. Because they're psychopaths.
Yeah.
This guy, Dr. Disclosure, he's cool. He's saying Trump 100% knows about UAPs from the former DNI, Defense of National Intelligence, Ratcliffe. And there are technologies, this is Ratcliffe saying, and there are technologies that we don't have, and frankly, that we are not capable of defending against, based on those things that we've seen, multiple sensors, in other words, where not just people visually seeing it, but where it's picked up on radar, where it's seen on satellites. And so, it's an issue of national security. And as the person who was informing policymakers about national security threats, it's not good to say, gosh, we don't have good answers. And so we have to have a larger discussion and try to figure out specifically what this is all about.
Okay, so here's my question to you. 2016 through 2020 was admittedly a very weird, I'll say weird time.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump got in trouble for sharing satellite footage that he wasn't supposed to, and saying and doing all these things he wasn't supposed to. Yeah. Don't you think he would have, spilled the beans on UFOs and stuff?
I mean, he tried to, and because he was asked questions, there was interviews where he's like, "I can't tell you, but I've seen it, and it's very interesting." He would say, right? It was something like that.
I mean, yeah, but that guy was the king of Twitter back then.
Yeah, he could have. I mean, a lot of people are saying that he actually took with him UFO documents.
That's why they went after him.
And that's why they went after him. We know our government's very irrational when it comes to this secret, and it's only when they act like this,
I have a hard time. I mean, it feels like there's some form of government that's higher than the president.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
I mean, what you're basically, these guys who are president, why don't they come out and say it? Like, why should they even be scared? They're president of the United States. They have control of our army, supposedly.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, That's right, and especially someone like Trump, who obviously
doesn't care.
You know, really didn't give a damn about what people thought of him and all that stuff. I mean, why wouldn't he come out and say it?
Yeah, I mean, good point. Why wouldn't he come out and say it? I mean, he kind of did, just didn't explicitly. Anyway, I'm not going to give the guy excuses.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll get to other stuff like Space Force 2. There was another clip. I'm looking for the original clip and not this one that was
this is great.
that we remixed. We remixed this one, but all right, because the original clip is louder. But here, let's listen to this one. Can you hear it?
Based on your experience,
Barely.
Conversations with experts.
All right, so let's not play that one then.
Yeah, okay.
Because we want it to come out. But there's a bunch of other clips. There is the one. Is this with? Oh, it's Corbell again.
He's been all over this.
Yeah, and he's going to say the same thing. I want to get clips from the actual.
He's got elf ears, by the way. Did you notice that?
Oh yeah, are they usually out that much?
I don't know, especially in this one. Like maybe it's only when he's head on and not trying to jujitsu people.
But it's NBC jujitsu people. It's NBC.
Big role in bringing these questions to the public. If he looks for
on a long time, and I will tell you, I was there all day, days before, helped set this up. They wouldn't allow for a secure facility for.
He just said, "Help set this up." It's all right. He's part of the team. He's part of the team, you know.
Well, you know,
it's just like your CV. You know, your CV. If you're a part of a team, you would say, "I helped set up," even though you're part of the team.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
For him to speak just today. So you have to understand, it's only shocking if you haven't been paying attention. Today was a historic day, Gotti, and I think you understand why. We have never had people of this credential and credibility, not just saying they saw things with their eyes, but backed up by sensor data. These aren't just pilots saying they saw something. These are pilots testifying to what's already known.
And one of the most bizarre parts of today is this back and forth where it was like, hey, I want to tell you more, but I can't. We'd have to go into the skiff and you'd have to have clearance. So what happens now? Grush says he's turned over a very specific list of names, hostile witnesses and cooperative witnesses, and specific locations, or a location where a craft may be or crafts may be. Like what happens next, and how soon are we going to see some of these Congress people go into skiffs and get some of these possible briefings from Grush?
Yeah, so that is correct. So people have to understand that David Grush, so he came to George Knapp, my mentor in journalism, and me first.
There we go again. They came to him first. Is that helpful? I mean, George Knapp is George Knapp. Maybe he came to George Knapp, and this guy is just with George Knapp all the time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, man, as much flack as we give him, he has, brought this, helped. He hasn't done much. He helped, bring this to the mainstream. I don't know what to call them.
He's a pest too, like he says. I think he won't leave these guys alone, like Grush, and he probably calls them up all the time. He's like, "Come on, man, you have to do this. We need this to happen." I think that's his real contribution to that is,
but
forcing everyone to do it.
Yeah, well, and we're glad for it.
It's
just, he doesn't have to make himself the main character in everything he does.
So here it is, just to go back, he's talking about the skiff, basically the guy on NBC saying, well, all right, so Grush tells him, he says, I can't tell you, I can only tell you in secret. So what's the next steps? And this is what Corbell is answering.
He came because of reprisal. He came because he was fearful because of this reprisal. We took a lot of time and vetted him. He came forward to the world. He is a true whistleblower, a patriot. He is doing this because it is the right thing to do. It's what he was taught to do. Now, why he can't speak openly right there in the public congressional hearing is because he has an ICIG, which is an Intelligence Community Inspector General complaint, a whistleblower complaint under the Presidential Protection Act. This is literally, the world is watching David Grush right now. How we handle David Grush's account, what he saw, what he knows, is how everybody else who is willing to break from the fold and tell the truth to the American public about the presence of UAP or UFO, which is fact, it is true, it is real. But how you get these people to come forward is how we treat David Grush right now. Let's investigate his claims like the Inspector General did, and by the way, found it credible and urgent what he said. So they found his claims through their own investigation to be credible and urgent. David Grush is telling you how it is, whether or not you can accept it.
He's not happy. I think because this guy, which is okay to be skeptical. He's like, well, I heard these things growing up. You know, basically he's saying like when I was in middle school and high school, like the government knows this stuff, and so he's saying it's nothing new. He wants to see evidence too. He's like, but he keeps saying I got to go into a skiff and I can't tell you, or I can't tell you here, kind of thing.
I mean, so obviously I like, what Grush is doing, but I mean, it makes me skeptical too. The fact that we talked about this a week or two ago, the fact that you have to get government clearance to whistleblow is insane to me. Because a whistleblower, you tell the whole thing. You don't, it just it does make it seem like it's a psyop or something.
Yeah, it doesn't help. The case is also what I would say. It's not helpful, But these people are. You have to understand, what kind of people these guys are. They've excelled at being good at their government jobs, which means following the law, listening to people, right? And that's why this law that protects them was great too, because both sides have to adhere to the law.
Protect some of them.
Yeah, protect some of them. So now it's in Time magazine. Witness tells Congress non-human biologics were found at the alleged UFO crash site. So this is a new term, non-human biologics. They're not even saying non-human intelligence anymore. It's non-human biologics, which could be now clones and like what I mean? Like we keep saying what the Greys are, that they're just they're these biological automatons.
So, I mean, I'm 50-50 on this, and it's articles like this and just the phrasing they're using. I mean, it feels like we're gearing up to something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or something is forcing the hand of the government. Yeah. Like something inevitable is happening, and that's good intuition there. Because is this? Let me see if this is just text or if there's actually voices here.
Hey kids, always question your government. Never believe anything. Never believe a word they say.
That is very important to say. Yeah, I mean, government literally means mind control. All right, so this has no. Oh, you want to listen to this? It's two minutes.
Up to you.
All right, let's try it.
You guys. Let the record show that all.
No, skip it.
No. All right. So anyway, that's from the Times one. They tried to have some clips. Of course, they go to Kirkpatrick, right?
Oh my God! Fuck that guy.
Yeah, and they're saying no government officials testified in Wednesday's hearings. Though Sean Kirkpatrick, the director of the Pentagon office focusing on UAPs, told a Senate subcommittee in April that the U.S. government was tracking 650 potential cases. No, that's not what I wanted to. Oh, here we go. And his office found, quote, no credible evidence of objects that defy the known laws of physics. Such a fucker. Excuse my language there, but he really is just a typical liar.
Yeah, I mean, well, he works for the government.
Yeah, and that's what they put him there. They just love that he's doing it. Yeah. So now, because of that congressional hearing, the Senate, this is Schumer, his effort, and Schumer knows something because he's been in government for a very long time. He is he's a Senate Majority Speaker, not a joke. He's been pushing this now, big time. So there's something going on. Something is going on. So U.S. Senate today, this is July 27th, 3 days ago, passed a National Defense Authorization Act that contains multiple and far-reaching provisions related to unidentified anomalous phenomenon. The Senate added the entire Intelligence Authorization Act to the FYNDAA, including UAP-related provisions earlier approved by the Senate. After approving the final NDAA package under the bill number HR 2670, the Senate sent it to a conference committee with the House of Representatives. There was only one minor UAP-related provision in the NDAA version that the House passed on July 14th. And with this one, Schumer adds a big one, which is here, which is what I'm going to focus on. It's eminent domain. Basically, if the government finds out that contractors have any beings,
which they probably do,
right, that the government is claiming now eminent domain, and they're going to take it. I think that means take it back because someone gave it to them.
Yep.
You know, and contractors don't have a military, right, to shoot these things down or even control the operations for crash retrievals. But they have possession of them. We know why, because you can't FOIA a private contractor.
Yeah, and we talked about that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, there is some talk that, or fear that Schumer, politically, it's not just Schumer. Many of our politicians are not owned, but are very influenced by foreign power, Israel, right? I mean, that's just the truth. We all know it. They're very heavily influenced, not saying controlled. So it's just scary when someone that we know, Schumer, he's huge with AIPAC. I'm just scared that if someone like him passes something like this about eminent domain, and they spy on us all the time, right? It's not a secret. They take our stuff, they steal our stuff all the time. So why wouldn't they want this? Of course they would.
Definitely.
To think of that, they're trying to push for this, so they have access to these technologies, and these crafts. So
again, it's just I should stop calling them elites. The parasitic class.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're going to find every way possible to hold power over us and hold their, technology and yada, yada, yada.
Right.
I mean, they absolutely love to dominate us.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's part of their personalities, I guess, or that personality that wants to dominate people and control them.
Sociopaths.
Yeah. Sociopaths and psychopaths. So there's a lot.
I sent you this one.
Yeah, and so many people in this circle too, the cat turd circle, just saying it's fake, psyop. Don't look at it; it's a distraction. It's everywhere, everywhere. So cat turd, he's pretty big on Twitter. He goes, non-human aliens discovered by our government, 2. Epstein's clients discovered by our government, 0.
Well, it's true. Jiz Lane, as I'm going to call her,
right?
She got arrested for delivering 0 sex slaves. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
Got
basically our sex slaves or were sex slaves.
She got arrested for delivering 0 sex slaves to 0 clients. I mean, that we could do a whole episode on Epstein.
Yeah.
And that whole thing.
He was interested in technology too, like big time.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. I mean, I understand this is changing gears a little bit, but it's absurd that I don't even think Epstein's dead at this point.
A lot of people, there's a lot of evidence out there, like picture evidence when they took his body out.
And, it doesn't match up.
Yeah, it doesn't match up at all. And someone that's worth billions of dollars, pay $150 million to disappear. Who cares?
And has blackmail on, let's be honest, 100% of our government.
Yeah, a lot of them, yes, yeah. And he's a Mossad guy and CIA, but they're pretty much the same anyway. And that's how that's one of the ways they control our politicians is they use this, like, pass this, do this, or I'm going to let this out,
What do you think the dollar amount is, like your net worth? What do you think it is where they make you have sex with a kid or something on camera? Like,
that's,
like $1 billion? 500 million?
Yeah. Yes. That's what, I think 100 million. Once you get the 100 million mark.
That's it? Man.
Yeah, because it's pretty much infinite. 100 million. Once you think about it, I know I could spend 100 million, yes, on yachts and houses, but just thinking about that amount of money, $100 million, you're significantly wealthy.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's enough to live off for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and you can influence probably an entire state, state with that money.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, what's the point? Like, at what level do you have to get to?
Well, you know,
where they start blackmailing you and make you work for, you know, whatever that secret government is.
I think they're just covering all angles. You know, not everyone can be bribed, right?
Yeah.
Not everyone wants. No, but I guess if you can't be bribed, then maybe they can get you with women. You know, but not everyone is going to cheat either.
Yeah.
So then, what would be the third one? So you have money to be bribed. You have sex, and then what would be the third one? It would be I don't know. It would be I mean,
it's got to be something like
those two, because
your mortality. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they'll figure out what pushes your buttons somehow.
Yeah,
and how to control you or how to get you embarrassed. Some secret. I mean, that's why they spy on everyone too. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, so they spy also on everyone. They'll find something you've done at some time and bring it up.
You said the N-word 20 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Even though you changed your ways, doesn't matter. You said it 20 years ago.
Yep.
So this is Kirkpatrick. It was leaked. When it was first leaked, people were like, "Oh, maybe it's not him," but he wrote a letter about the hearings. He's a big crybaby.
Shocker.
Should I read the whole thing? I don't know if it's long.
No,
he says some important things here.
Just sum it up.
All right, so here, let's go here, because he intros. He talks about AARO. He talks about the team. He says it was established by law, right? So here he goes. The subcommittee, whose questions and oversight duties are irreproachable and in genuine need of answers, has never asked AARO for an update on the reporting system, the historical review, the operations, and the S&T strategy that AARO leads and is undertaking. A rational person watching the hearing might reasonably assume that both the witnesses and the members had an understanding of the department's and the IC's progress since the establishment of AARO around this time last year, only naturally leading to them to conclude that AARO has been ineffective, non-transparent, and delinquent in its legislated mission. AARO briefs, all true. AARO briefs the defense and intel committees regularly, and since the last NDAA, the Homeland Defense, S&T, and several other committees as well. I am deeply disappointed at the denigration of AARO's dedicated men and women hailing from the Department of Defense, intelligence community, and civil partners who are pouring their hearts out working this issue on behalf of Congress. I know.
This is the NASA lady all over again.
AARO has the authorities and resources necessary to execute this mission to meet congressional intent. And as we've stated that before, AARO welcomes anyone with knowledge of any of these allegations or programs to talk to us in a safe, secure, and appropriately cleared environment. Rest assured, AARO will follow the data wherever it leads, except for Grush, right?
Yeah.
Hey, let's not call back Grush.
Hey, listen, anyone who works for government, and let's be honest, if you're listening, you're FBI or CIA. We pay your fucking bills.
Yeah, yes, we do. And we're not kids.
Better job.
We're not children.
My God,
we're all productive adults, right? We make livings. We pay rent. We have, many of us have families, we have friends, lots of responsibilities. We contribute to the economy. We buy cars. We buy houses. We pay rent. We buy gas. You know what I mean? We pay electricity. We pay utilities. Like, we're not children.
Maybe I'm just like getting old, but if you work for the government, do better.
Yeah, I agree. And, maybe that's why some of them who have gotten there are like, wait a minute, we need to do better.
I am so sick of this sentiment. Everyone's bullying us and yada, yada, yada. I'm done. I understand why old men get crotchety.
But imagine if I act like that with one of my e-commerce stores. Oh my God, my customers, they're saying I'm not doing a good job, because I'm not doing a good job and I should change. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, I'm always if something happens operationally, I'm always apologetic and we change and we never do that again, kind of thing, right? I mean, that's just how it should be.
Exactly. I mean, that's how I'm at my job. My boss tells me to do something different. I do it different.
Right.
That's the way it works.
It's crazy how they think that they are the bosses of the people when when it's not how it never was this way until basically the National Security Act, because it made this secret government, and maybe that has to be abolished completely. Everyone keeps talking about it, but national security, even Burchett, all of them. We have to protect national security. Yes, I get that, I really do, but it can be used for anything.
Yeah.
So
I understand wanting to keep the country safe, but holy hell.
Yeah, I mean,
you got to step it up.
Tell the people that you don't have to tell them what you reverse. Like, okay, for example, like a nuclear bomb. They've disclosed it as a nuclear bomb, and we have hydrogen weapons. But are you telling people how to make them? No. So same thing. You could say what UAPs are, at least some of them.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have to tell us what you reverse engineered and what technologies came out of that? And no, you don't tell us that. I don't care that much about that. I just want to know the truth of what's happening in the environment.
I mean, what would I even do with that information? Tell me how to make a UFO, and you know what I'll do? Nothing, because you can't make UFO.
I guess they're worried about countries like using that technology to make some kind of bomb or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, jeez.
So after AARO, this was a great one, signed by Matt Gaetz, Luna, Burchett, and Moskowitz, who did the press conference. They are basically saying, there's Mr. Speaker, we ask that you immediately establish a select committee outside the jurisdiction of any standing committee and with subpoena authority to go about the task of collecting information from the Pentagon and elsewhere for the benefit of the public and to discharge our constitutional, legislative, and oversight roles. So basically saying AARO's not doing its job. We need another committee to go after the stuff that Grush and Graves and what's his name? Graves and Fravor are telling us. And of course, I say this is bye-bye AARO.
Yeah, another committee will really help. I'm sure they'll be absolutely fantastic at the jobs.
There's another bureaucracy. That's what government does, right? It's just let's just create another bureaucracy. But if it's Burchett and these people who are in the hearing, if it's them, I'm really hoping that it's they're really going to go after the Pentagon and try to find out something.
I sure as hell hope so.
I'm being hopeful again, but I can't help that.
All right, so what you got next?
This, guess who's coming to the rescue? This is Bill Nelson, the director of NASA. He's talking to a Spanish audience, so it's being translated. So that's why he has to stop, every sentence. But here, take a listen.
I decided as the head of NASA, since there's so much suspicion about aliens,
Yo decidí como administrador de la NASA, ante todas las sospechas que hay con el tema de los extraterrestres,
that I would appoint a committee of very distinguished scientists.
que designaría un comité integrado por científicos muy distinguidos.
That committee is deliberating, and they will make their report publicly next month.
Ese comité se encuentra deliberando actualmente y va a dar a conocer su informe de manera pública el mes que viene.
Now, I can tell you in the meantime.
Oh my God! I just saw the sign language thing in the bottom right-hand corner.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I just saw that. Sorry.
We're halfway. Yeah, it's almost done.
Pero mientras tanto, les puedo decir que hasta que tengan acceso a ese informe,
and they will consider using our sensors in space, our scientific sensors, in trying to determine this phenomenon.
Que van a utilizar sensores, detectores, nuestros equipos en el espacio para tratar de identificar precisamente estos fenómenos.
So wait until next month and you'll have an answer.
Así que esperen al mes que...
Thanks, NASA. What would we do without you, NASA?
Never a straight answer.
Never a straight answer. So, they've been scrubbing images since its founding,
They've
right?
I mean, faking images.
And faking images, exactly.
Yeah.
And even green screens, that doesn't help. And they've caught them with green screens in the ISS, and like with strings and cranes attached to show astronauts are floating. Like, why? Like, it doesn't mean that space is fake and the Earth is flat. I know flat Earthers always use that. It doesn't mean that, at all. But just like, why do stuff like that?
God. Well, to mislead the public, I guess,
and hide something. Yeah. So this came out after Schumer and the Senate passed the NDAA, and basically the White House is saying that they're going to sign it. So that's good news, because it gives Congress and the Senate and the government a lot of powers for UAP, not just eminent domain. What else was there? There was other provisions in there. I mean, we'll share it so our listeners can listen to can read it. But there's a lot in there that gives them a lot of power. I think the 60-day thing is in there too for contractors to come forward, right? Stuff like that,
and they won't.
And protections. Here's an interesting account. I don't know if you know about him, Donnie Darkened.
I don't know anything about this. No.
All right, so this guy, he used to be a Trump supporter. All right, a big Trump supporter. He's Christian, deeply Christian. I don't think he has a denomination, but he has different opinions of how to read the Bible or whatnot. Anyway, and he's got rabbit holes to go down, but he thinks that Trump now, unknowingly is basically the Antichrist that's in the Bible. Okay, he's been bred that way. He shows movies, he shows predictive programming, he shows all this stuff. So he thinks, and he's been saying this for a while now, this is not anything new. When he saw the creation of Space Force, he thought that Space Force is created, and this whole UFO disclosure thing is to basically drum up support for an alien enemy, right? And Space Force is created, and then basically they're getting ready for Jesus's return. And that Space Force,
this is Project Bluebeam.
Yes, and anyway, but he's saying that Jesus is actually going to return, and that that Space Force is going to be used to destroy Jesus and his army. Obviously, it's not going to work, but that's what this guy is saying. So 1 year ago, I said that we would see the UFO narrative unfold very soon. They are preparing the world for the invasion of Jesus Christ and his armies at the second coming. Who they will be likely say is an alien threat, which is why Trump, the beast, created the Space Force. And he has a crazy, crazy thread about all that. And now you can't really deny some of the stuff that comes out that points to Trump being like the beast or the Antichrist. But the Space Force and Jesus' return, I don't know, maybe. I'm not going to say it's not true. I don't know. We really don't know. But it's just crazy to see these different perspectives on this UFO issue.
No kidding. I love crazy stuff like this. That's why I sent you the 4chan thing from last week.
4chan, which one was that one?
That was the one that was talking about Agenda 20.
That one. Yeah, exactly. So this is along those lines. This is definitely along those lines. And
it's great.
It's not Q stuff, but it gets into that territory a little bit.
Yeah.
So here he goes. Symbolism, Time magazine. Oh, and he always says how they're going after Trump, like the media and the government. They're trying to make people feel sorry for him. So as a comeback, so he's saying that he's an Antichrist figure because he's trying to paint himself as Jesus too, where he's being persecuted and then he's going to come back, right? So he got kicked out of office. We're doing all this lawfare against him, but then he's going to come back into office. And dude, if he comes back into office, then this guy's right again, and I'm going to be kind of worried.
There's no way. There's absolutely no way. What they're going to do is they're going to put Biden back in office, and then you put like a fucking robot in instead because the guy can barely walk or talk.
Yeah. So I mean that's most of all the UFO stuff. I don't know if you want to. There's other things that happened that weren't related. That politically, that we shared.
I actually do kind of want to talk about this kind of stuff,
like the Hillary and Obama.
Well, I sent you something. Oh wait, no. Did you hear? Was it Schumer? There was that politician that like froze up on the podium.
Yeah. Talk about it while I try and find it.
Oh, great. Yeah, asking me to talk.
No, I need to find it. I can't think of the problem. Wait, what's his name? It's not Schumer. Who's the
It wasn't Schumer.
What's his name?
No.
Wait, who is the majority speaker?
Well, basically, he was speaking. He was
Speaker of the House. Speaker.
It was so crazy. He basically froze and was unable to answer a question and was like completely still. Like it looked like a robot that had a malfunction. I mean, he was completely still. They had taken back his, well, I'll say handlers.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, you want to go back? You want to go back to your room? And he couldn't respond. And they took him back. And then he came back and finished, whatever his speech was. But it was just.
Did he come back and I thought,
No, I think he did. It was absolutely bizarre.
But did you see the one where they were touching him too?
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
Is that the one you share? You share? Maybe I just go. Oh, here it is. Mitch McConnell.
Also, we have to talk about that video with that crazy lady with the eyes.
Okay, yeah, I do have that. So here's.
Okay, perfect. Who is it? Which politician?
Mitch McConnell.
Okay, it is McConnell. Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, Mitch McConnell. So he got asked a question and then just froze.
Cooperation and a string of.
Watch. She touches him. He stops.
Yeah.
You see that? How she touched him?
Yeah, she touched him and he just froze immediately.
And then she touches him again, I think, to unfreeze him. What the hell?
Dude, it is so bizarre. Why do we have these geriatrics running our country?
Because we're an empire, such a powerful empire. I mean, I guess.
So he's standing at a podium.
Watch now. She touches him again, I think. Oh, no. They didn't show that part.
So he's standing at a podium and a journalist asks him a question and he just completely, it's like, I think he might have had I don't know what it's called, a stroke, I guess.
I mean, people who are familiar with strokes said that, yeah, he had a stroke. And maybe that hit sparked something on his wrist. It could have been just a pressure point or something. Very strange.
He just completely freezes and he stands there and he's staring. It's actually kind of scary. Lizard people!
Aliens! It's the aliens.
He's standing there and like his, I don't know, staff, his guards or whatever, they come and they ask him questions and he doesn't answer.
No, and they rush him away, obviously.
Yeah, they rush him away. It's like when Hillary was doing her presidential campaign and she got shoved in the back of a van.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Quick.
Yeah, get her out of here.
Before the people know. I mean,
lizard people.
And speaking of lizard people, here's this one too. Like, what the hell
is this the one? Oh my God. This video is actually, I'm not even kidding. This is one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And all I do is watch horror films.
Well, so yeah, this is a ranking member, Miss Plaskett. This is looks like one of her staff. She's in the back.
The theory is that she's the what's it called?
Handler.
What?
The handler?
No. She writes the script.
Oh yeah. She must, because she's lip syncing it, right? In a way.
That's the theory. Anyway, is there? I don't even know if there's a point to playing this.
The record, page 55 from the committee's interview.
She's lip syncing what she's saying.
So Miss, was this a Plaskett?
Plaskett, yeah.
is she's reading something, and there's this woman behind her with just the scariest eyes I've ever seen in my life. She's lip syncing along with what Plaskett is saying. And the thing is, what's so crazy to me, she even lip syncs the part where Plaskett screws up.
What? Okay, see, that's weird then. So that's like a marionette kind of thing.
Oh my God, look at her eyes.
What? Who's really talking? That is bizarre. You know, there's always been stories of aliens or non-human intelligence in our government. There's that whole story of Axelrod. You know, and with that remote viewer, what's his name? The famous remote viewer, Ingo Swann.
Yeah.
So Axelrod was apparently an alien. You know, and he worked in the government.
This lady sees the cameras watching her, and changes her mode. I mean, she has the most like terrifying
eyes.
Yeah, I
pierced through her.
See, all right, watch this. She sees the camera, and then covers her face because she knows she's going along lyrically with
It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, see? But
you can't get away with anything these days, huh?
Yeah. I mean, her eyes.
Download's complete.
Her eyes just scare me. She looks like a crazy person.
Yeah, she does. She does. So sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators. How come it's still here?
Oh.
All right. So yeah, listeners, it might be gone if you click through it for.
I mean that
show notes.
Honestly, that straight up is one of the scariest things I've ever seen in my life.
So crazy, and that's just our government is just obviously infiltrated.
Yeah. So is that it? Did we get through it all?
That's all of it. Yeah, that's an hour and a half. So I think that's pretty good.
That's crazy.
That's mostly
Yeah.
it. I thought we'd play longer clips. Of there's that one, the one that we remixed. There has to be one that's better because I want for those that didn't listen to the hearings. I mean, there's some crazy stuff.
There really is.
Here it is about biologics. Okay, I have it. I have it. We can put it up. It's not that long, but these, and it's going to be annoying for a lot of people because again, he's not revealing anything. Grush is not revealing. I mean, he is, but he's not explicitly saying it, right?
Yeah.
Is it this one? Yeah. So here. Take a listen.
You've stated that the government is in possession of potentially non-human spacecraft. Based on your experience and extensive conversations with experts, do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Okay, I can't ask when you think this occurred. If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
And was this documentary evidence, this video, photos, eyewitness? Like, how would that be determined?
The specific documentation I would have to talk to you in a skiff about.
Gotcha. You've seen,
Of course. So people are going to be saying, "Well, why doesn't he just tell us? If he really cares about humanity and transparency, and he'll go to jail, forever."
Yeah.
I think, and he'll also go to jail for lying. The guy's under oath in Congress.
Well, the whole system has been designed so the general public can't know, what's going on.
Yeah.
The full story, I mean.
Yeah. Dolan would say this too, and he says that our constitutional government died when National Security Act was passed. And yeah, we haven't had a constitutional government since then, because they've always used the excuse for national security for every single thing to take away our rights. Always.
Yeah.
Even spying. Oh, national security. We got to spy on all of you. Throw away the Fourth Amendment and just
can't let us know how JFK died.
Oh yeah, and that one too. So Schumer is using the JFK Secrecy Act or whatever act that was passed by Congress in the 90s. He's using that for UAP.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to say. But now all of a sudden Biden, Trump got it. Trump's like, well, if you knew what was in here, you wouldn't release it either. Okay, is what he said. And he just dumped it onto Biden. And then Biden said, we're never going to release it. And he just signed something saying it's not going to be, it's law.
A shocker.
I know, big shocker. So hopefully if someone sues and it goes to the Supreme Court, hopefully they win.
No,
Even
I
Supreme
mean,
Court. It's
someone
government.
Yeah, exactly. Supreme Court will, just go ahead and continue out the policies that whoever's in office.
Right, we agree, and it doesn't help the conspiracy theories, especially the ones who talk about that he got killed because of UFOs, because there's a huge part of that's why he got killed, and maybe that's in there too, and that's why they won't release it. It just comes into this whole subject, But anyway, the Senate now is going to create a committee. Yes, another bureaucracy. A committee to begin declassifying anything UAP or UFO as long as it doesn't hurt national security.
Goodbye, AARO.
I know. Goodbye, Mr. Kirkpatrick. He deserves it.
Fuck
Sorry to say
guy.
he deserves
Fuck
it so
that guy.
much. Time, dude. I'll tell him this to his face. I'll tell him to his face. I'm not. He deserves it, and I'm glad it's happening to someone like him. I wish it would happen to someone like Fauci. Which it kind of did. He resigned.
Well, what's he like? 80 now? I mean,
I know the amount of power.
Yeah, just ridiculous.
That's right. I did send you something else about along those lines.
Yeah,
there's a paper that came out. Yeah, here it is. There's a paper that came out not recently, or here. Let's take a look at it. By Robert Minotti. He's a great researcher. He goes, the above internal documents from vaccine manufacturer Wyeth exposes how they knew that some batches of a vaccine were causing SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome, back in 1979. And rather than recalling them, they made sure to spread the batches out to avoid being detected as they continued killing babies. Another example of their lack of concern for kids' lives.
Christ.
The polio shots back in the early 1960s were contaminated with a monkey virus from the manufacturing process. This was due to the use of monkey kidney cells to culture the polio virus on. The monkey virus was called SV40. SV40 isn't dangerous to monkeys, but causes cancer in humans. The findings were ignored, and kids were given the polio vaccine, resulting in brain tumors and death for many kids.
I mean, I'm not anti-vax by any means. I've been vaccinated for many things, not COVID, but it's just monstrous, evil. There's not even a word to describe it.
And they're protected too. I mean, they're protected from any liability. You can't do anything about it. Good luck.
I mean, I can't believe we've gotten to this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was like SIDS, even when being a father, I was told that not that it's normal, but if it happens, or that it could happen in the first year. Once you pass the first year, that's it. It's a party, But that you are there is a risk that in the first year your baby will have SIDS, and the reason turns out is because of the vaccines.
Yeah, I mean, again, science, medicine, it's not a machine. It's not binary. It's not 1 or 0. It's not life or death. All of it is just theory. It's practice. That's what drives me nuts.
And the mandating, just why are you mandating these things? Let people decide. Let parents decide. Maybe they know their kids better. Maybe just from one bad one, they're like, all right, we're not going to continue it anymore. Like, don't mandate it on the population.
Like
parents know.
They do. I mean, do you remember my old roommate? I won't say her name.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah. one of her kids doesn't have any vaccinations because one of her older kids had gotten really, really sick, from getting vaccinated.
So wait, was it allergies kind of sick, or like just a bad reaction? Like, was it permanent, or was it something they could fix?
It wasn't permanent. It was
Okay.
kind of an allergies type of reaction. But I mean, it didn't. Allergies are a couple seconds, but whatever happened to her lasted months.
Oh man. Yeah, but I mean, because the whole peanut allergy and these other allergies that kids have nowadays, it's only started after the vaccine mandates.
Yeah.
All right, this one is really funny. You liked it.
This is so good.
It's a commercial in Germany. It's got English subtitles though.
Do we even have to play this because it's in German? I don't think.
It has English subtitles. This one. So we could read the English subtitles. But it's a family. They're watching television. The door rings, and it's the German police. Wait, where are the subtitles?
This is what I'm saying.
The German.
So basically, this family is sitting in their home having a good time. The German police show up and take all of their stuff and they say it's for the Ukraine war.
Yeah, we will continue to support Ukraine financially. I think that's what the politicians saying on the television, which they're taking away, right? They're taking away.
Anyway, they take all their stuff. At the end, the family is left with nothing in their home, and he just took off one of her earrings. He smashed the piggy bank. Yeah, I mean they take everything, and then they hang up a picture of Zelensky, and tell them that they basically have to not worship him, but
your place is in NATO. Deal with NATO at your place. What's funny is she had a list here, and it said something about Zelensky. Anyway, so it's crazy to see this backlash, obviously now against the Ukraine war.
But this is a commercial that aired on TV.
Yeah, it must be a political party, though, right? Here, let's go.
Yeah. Anyway, people are starting to push back against the Ukrainian Russian war.
Because it's destroying their economy. They have high energy prices now. It just doesn't make sense. And now it's a fear of nuclear war starting. It's not. Is it worth it? Is it really worth it? Just do peace. Push for peace.
You think it'd be easy? I mean, I understand peace is not easy, but I mean, fuck me.
And they're gonna shut off the nukes anyway, right? Even if they did try.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful planet. Obviously, not as someone else runs it. It's teeming with life. Stable. I don't think whoever runs this place doesn't want to see nukes flying.
No.
Over continents and just destroying everything.
Well, like I said earlier, maybe all the nukes are shut off anyway.
Right? Yeah. Did you see that one of the Navy? The Navy bomb. The nuke. I don't know what it was.
Oh, what?
It was like a 40,000-pound bomb. Here, let me pull it up. It's really crazy. It's not even a nuke, but it looks like a nuke. Yeah, and it has like some blue light to it.
No, I haven't seen this at all.
But it acts like a nuke too.
Was it a test?
Yes, they tested it out in the Pacific or somewhere, and it's near. It was near an aircraft carrier.
Damn. No, I haven't seen that.
Here, let me pull it up. User, here it is. Can I make this bigger? It's on Instagram. I'm not sure if I can make it bigger.
Didn't I send you like one more? There was some clip that was really funny. I could have sworn I sent it to you. Where's my phone?
So you can't make things bigger on Instagram? I mean, that's where it is. I bet you it's somewhere else too. Here, let's try to. But this is a crazy test. You should definitely watch it. All right, can you see it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa! What? The U.S. Navy tests a 40,000-pound bound bomb near an aircraft carrier. That's an aircraft carrier. What?
Jesus. That is nuts, man.
I mean, if you're Russia or China, it's like, yeah, you guys have super hypersonic missiles, but we have this.
Dude, that is some crazy footage. Holy.
When I asked nuke, someone's like, no, because of the blue. They said it's hydrogen, but not. It's not a hydrogen. That's a hydrogen bomb. Then it looks like one of the tests in the 50s, doesn't it?
Oh, good. No, so we've got more bombs just than nukes. That's awesome to hear.
Oh, that's an aircraft carrier completely gone. So I mean, we're telling China basically, well, yeah, sure, you guys have like 5, 10 now. Then we'll destroy them in 2 seconds.
China owns half our country. I don't think we'd go to war with them anytime soon.
Yeah, it was really depressing to see like that guy Milley, talk about how he didn't he tell on Trump to like one of the Chinese generals.
Yeah,
so depressing. It sucks.
Well, this is the world we live in now, man.
Yeah, it is. Well, I think that's about everything now.
All right. Well, then I guess I have to say this. Thank you all so much for listening to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. That is, I want to believe Adam. I am Tip Top Topher.
Tip Top Topher.
I'm sticking with it.
Okay, well, you gotta get rid of the question mark then. Topher?
I'm Tip Top Topher.
All right,
there we go. See, I
Tip Top
both.
shape.
And we want to thank you all so much for listening. Adam, do you want to tell us about our sponsor today?
Yes, our sponsor is a legal hemp marketplace called Kineba, spelled Qinneba. It is ancient Aramaic for hemp. It's a pretty smart way of, I think, of grabbing or coming up with a brand name.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? It's just a different language, and it's an ancient one, which means you can still kind of get it.
Well, everything, you like Verizon had to make a brand new name.
Oh yeah, that's
like
right.
A brand new word, I should say.
Brand new word.
Because everything else was taken. So Kineba is a great brand name.
Yeah, and that's how it says K-Neba, and it means hemp, and it's a legal hemp marketplace, so it's full of CBD products, Delta 8 products, Delta 9 products, where it's legal in your state. They ship nationwide, excellent prices, great customer service, and they really they help us out. So go ahead, visit them.
Do they ship overseas?
Sometimes. Only recently we just did. It's a headache. It just is a headache.
Yeah, I understand.
It's expensive, and then a lot of customs agents just like confiscate it. So
yeah,
many countries aren't like us. We're lucky here. We're still free in that sense.
Kind of. We're kind of free.
So definitely give it a visit. Check us out on Twitter at UAP the Podcast. We're on all podcast platforms. I haven't been sharing our videos lately. I think we're on episode 19 on Rumble, so we're way behind. We're way behind. We're getting there. I mean, I have seen like it's growing a little bit. Maybe it'll grow if I continue to add. So maybe I'll get back to doing that today.
Okay. Couldn't hurt.
I think that's everything. Cuz great episode. Wow, almost 2 hours.
Yeah, this is going to be, and I caught a few times that I'm going to have to cut out some parts. But
okay,
yeah, no, it's been good, man. I had a lot of fun this episode.
Yeah, me too. There's a lot of information out there, a lot happening. God, I can't wait till next week and see what's going to happen now. Maybe it'll be a quiet week after this one. I doubt it though.
I'm sure after all the hearings and the laws that are being passed and yada yada yada, nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, but everyone is in agreement that there is a schism going on within the government. That a part of it wants to get it out, a part of it wants to keep it secret. There's out there that it's the Psyop again, that COVID kind of thing.
We should get on Corbell's show.
You think he doesn't get guests? Does he have oh no, he only has like high level guests, right?
Or high level.
I mean, we can maybe invite him on. That'd be fun.
Oh God!
Can we invite him on? You want to try it?
No, absolutely not. Because all we do is make fun of the guy.
Well, I mean, and no, but
he deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, he puts himself there, but we sincerely like the guy, and
he would never. Efforts. He would never be a guest. Maybe we can be a guest on his show. He would never be a guest because he has to be the main character. At all
well, if he's the guest, I see what you're saying, that he's not in charge. Because even on Rogan, he was the main character.
Yeah.
Like he was steering the interview instead of being interviewed.
Yeah, he's the main character.
It's his personality.
All right, all hell Corbell. Oh wait, no, I meant to say thank you for listening for the.
All hail the UFO phenomena is not real, Corbell. I can't believe he said that.
All right, this has been the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. I already said that, but I'll say it again. Thank you, Adam. I'm Topher, and we'll see you all next week.